New Year hats.
Yeah.
Hey, Happy New Year, Jonathan, Scott. How are you guys doing?
Oh,
Happy
lovely.
New Year.
Yes.
Doing great. Everybody's got some coffee?
Mm-hmm.
Or we don't have champagne in these glasses anymore from New Year celebrations, right? I mean, we're
Not that you're aware of, no.
that's right. Well, you know what they say is variables are the cup, right? A variable is like a glass or a cup. It just holds, a variable just holds the value, and you know, so the variable is the cup, and you can name it whatever you'd like, but the value is what's inside. So it might be water, it might be coffee, it might be gin, it might be vodka. I guess once we could see the color of it, then we'd know a little more clearly. So little programming analogy for all of us to start off the show.
You are such a nerd.
Well, it makes you wonder though, like all those talk shows that are on in the morning, they all have that like stage prop of coffee. Is there water in there? Is it,
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny, if you watch the Hallmark movies, which I know Scott's not a big movies.
Oh, I love Hallmark. Yeah.
They're huge. They're huge on coffee. It's every scene somebody's got a coffee cup in their hand, but you can tell by the way they hold it, they're empty cups. They don't. You could just. You could. It's like, really? Come on, put something in there. Put some water in there or something. Give it some natural feel.
It's probably not in the Hallmark budget to put water in the cup.
It's true.
No,
Once they bought the cups, that's all that's left.
Yeah, I'm not besmirching the good name of Hallmark. Just it's like, the channels to go to when you want a cheesy flick.
Yeah.
You go to the Sci-Fi Channel anymore, and you just look through the titles, and oh my gosh, you'll laugh hysterically just scrolling through their titles. Zombievers. Did you guys see Zombievers yet?
No.
Amazing. Cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, completely underrated, right?
Absolutely. Totally underrated. What did you say there, Dwayne? Sorry.
Well, my family, we love the Hallmark, even, the movies and mysteries and the Christmas. But, as far as the Christmas goes, they churn out like 50 a day. But it's like, okay, this is the one where they go, the bad person is going to buy out, but he romance, it's like the formulas, there's only like 5 formulas, even though there's 50 or 60 movies, but it works. And most of those are filmed in Canada, but even though they say they're everywhere else, but yeah. No, we love them, but it's so we digress.
I'm not done yet. Where else are you going to get the wholesome natured people other than Canada? And the Christmas films, you need authentic winter time.
Correct. Yeah.
And oftentimes you'll see like you'll see some people in that later, a few years later, are like established in Hollywood. Maybe they're in Canada. From what I understand, there's a saying. It's I think they say American good. It's like, hey, this guy or girl is good, but this person is American level good, which means it's only a matter of time before they cross the border and start earning their
into the big show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those Christmas movies, a lot of them, even though they are Christmas movies, they're shot in the summer. So they're wearing heavy coats. They've got the fake snow. They're dying because they're sweating to death because they shoot it in the summertime, but they have to be bundled up like it's winter.
Yeah.
They need to work on how they bunch up that cotton and stuff like that. Some of the fake snow is obvious, but like Dwayne nailed it. It's like there's 5 versions of it. So if we're watching one here at the house, usually I call it within the first 5 minutes and say, this is what's going to happen, because you have that intro and then you're like, okay, this is the rest of the way the story is going to go. It's too funny.
With the mystery, some there's a couple of them that are really their top tier mystery series, but then the rest of them, it's like, okay, who are they not talking about? That's who did it.
Yeah.
And that within the first 5 or 10 minutes.
But
what about
still love them.
What about Christmas shoes? Did you guys watch the Christmas shoes?
Yes, that was plot number 3.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was a Hallmark movie, and there's of course on the soundtrack of Christmas Shoes, there's the country music song, The Christmas Shoes, and oh boy, it's a tearjerker. I don't want no spoilers, but it is a tearjerker. We'll send some people over to the YouTube of Christmas shoes after we're done here with Coffee with Key. Fantastic intro, guys. We're as good as ever, sharp and witty. The coffees are in full effect, and we are pumped up for a brand new year, 2021.
Sponsored
We've got
Mark. So.
That's right. Please do submit your sponsorship opportunities to fab3 at kd.com. And we got a new product that's going to, I mean, it bolsters our existing lineup of presentation solutions, and it's adding to it. We added a few really great features to it, and man, let's just say that you could turn any classroom or conference room. You just put in the wall box, have a cat wire in between, and you're ready to go. You got everything you need in one box, including all the input connections, all the controlling of the projector display, and you could even even control it right from your iOS device as well, getting that on the network. So we're pretty pumped up about it. We could show you the details. Are there any other things we want to jump in before we do some screen sharing, guys?
I love this new product that we're going to reveal today. And like I said, it's an addition to our family of wall plates. Jonathan, you and I were on with a dealer yesterday talking about this as a perfect solution because they already had a cat wire, but they had no more way to get wire anywhere. And so they're replacing some existing things and adding the camera and everything else in when they can't pull any more wires in this building. It's too tight. And so it's just timely. And I think you'll love it because it takes gets all the good new technology and it includes one older technology, which seems to never go away. And we'll talk about that in a bit.
That's right. Cool. Well, Scott, should I go ahead and initiate a screen share? Is that cool? Or do you have anything else you'd like to add first?
No, fire away. Let's, here we go. You're set, Jonathan.
All right. Fire in the hole, gents. Let's jump over to our webpage, not our Facebook page. Boom. All right. So the product, brand new product, is part of our presentation solutions. And let's just, I'd say, address the what do they say, the 800-pound gorilla in the room, which is, presentation solutions. It's we have some wireless technologies that are doing great right now. We have our camera that's doing fantastic right now. So the wireless is the BYOD 4K, as you see here, touch free. You could present touch free in a room. So this is for the offices where folks are huddled around with plenty of space between them, I should say. So the anti-huddle room. The cam USB, as we scroll through here, you see all of our presentation solutions. This has been just huge for home offices, and just with the rise of soft conferencing solutions, wanting to bolster the camera quality for everybody. Myself and my colleagues, all three of us, are currently using cam USB. So I'm doing mine in 4:3 aspect ratio because I'm in my messy living room, thanks to my young son who loves to, this is the play area as well, of course. And, but, pan, tilt, zoom, 1080p image resolution, and more. In fact, I was just helping our Kenyan distributors this morning. Shout out to Magfree Enterprises. And go ahead, walk through. See, this is not just excuse. I actually have a live 10-year-old wanting to gather toys this morning, and the product today that we're showing you guys is our brand new KDX 3x1 WUTX. Dwayne, take us through the nomenclature, sir, because people might say, "Wow, that's a mouthful."
Absolutely. Well, if you go to the high res under downloads, Jonathan, bring that up a little bit better, clearer shot, high resolution photo. So yeah, as you see, the plate itself is on the right. The what's on the left is basically the backside. It does have a really nice cover that covers up, gives it that finished look like the center section. But you can see it's got HDMI, that technology I was telling you about, VGA. There's still a lot of people with laptops with VGA wanting to do VGA presentations with the external audio in when you're doing VGA, etc. Also DisplayPort, and this one also has USB connectivity, so you can get that camera through the receive unit that this sends out to, whether it's through one of our presentation switchers or just directly to the receive unit. You can get that USB camera all the way from the back of the room. I think we can go 100 meters. Is that right, Jonathan? 328 feet?
You got it. Perfect.
Yep. So that's all, it's a big classroom, but universities, some of these lecture halls are really large. And then you also see over here on the right, the input select. You can just choose 1, 2, 3 between HDMI, VGA, and DisplayPort. And then up top, you've got the on-off volume up and down. That's via CEC control, which Jonathan can go deeper into that here in a little bit. Also have your LAN connection, which you can then forward through that as well. So, I mean, it's awesome. You can mount this in the wall. It's 3 gang. Also, you can mount it into a table if you want to cut the hole out, or a podium, or you can put it into a desktop box, which I've got. I don't have this one mounted right now, but I've got the 4x1, which is doesn't have VGA, that's why I really like this unit. I think it will do very, very well out there, because our #1 selling wall plate has been the HDMI VGA only, doesn't have USB up till now. I think this one's going to take over because it adds that USB level, and that's just going to make it makes it so much more powerful. So
Scott,
go dig a little deeper, or Scott.
Yeah, Scott, talk about the USB layer. This adds the USB. Tell us what all people can do with that, because it just expands what people can do in their room.
I mean, on the overall, like where Dwayne was just hitting on the camera aspect, I mean, this could be anything across the board. It could be somebody that either walks in and has whatever, a portable drive. We could be able to pull files there into a presentation. The main thing I hate and I get fixated on is using this to another part of our product line. So right away, it's like USB. It's like, oh, came USB. So let's just drop in, hook that up. And then we're now with the KDCam app, everything else, it's broad. And this is kind of what we were missing to give the flexibility of anybody coming into a room. It's like, okay, now I have USB ability, which isn't really a word. VGA, which we all know that's never going to go away, eventually.
Doesn't seem like it will.
Yeah, it's funny because every time I think of that, I always think of, and not to get off track here, composite video. Like that just disappeared, and there was non-existent anymore. And it's like, okay, is, the VGA like the composite video of, it's a legacy, but,
yeah.
And DisplayPort and everything else. So, I mean, for me in different applications, I haven't had any particular one of my dealers. Everybody's made some inquiries and they're trying to factor this in to give any of their clients the ability to say, wow, I can select any of these inputs, etc. Anyone can walk in and say, hey, I have an old IBM ThinkPad and it's a VGA input, but with everything changing now and everything else across the board, it's tough because it's not like people are, running into a room, but
well, and what Dwayne's customer yesterday needed was, so first of all, they had no availability for additional wiring. All right. And this here is going to do video switching and then extension of the video and audio of the selected source. So switching extender, it extends the network. So if I plug in the network port either on the wall plate or on the receiver for this part, which is the X100 MRX, and I believe you guys could see that on. Oh, you know what? Let's. I'm going to switch over to the share of my screen as opposed to a specific window. All right, so the X100 MRX. So if this is in your rack, for example, or you could plug in a wire into the LAN port here, and now this is a network-enabled extension. So you got, and then connecting the USB. So you're doing switching, video, audio, USB, and network. So four signals over a single wire. I would not be any good as a weatherman in front of the green screen. I don't know which way is which. Now, in addition, you have audio de-embedding IR and RS-232. So you can actually, if you do have a control system in the room, that means you are able to insert the IR or RS-232 on the transmitter or the receiver side. Let's just say, for example, the receiver, the X100 MRX, and then you could just run right up the wall to connect RS-232 to control your monitor. Or if you're in the podium and you have a small little control interface like our MC1000 or CX800, you could go into the wall plate if it's, say, in the podium, as Dwayne had alluded to earlier, and then use it to control the projector over RS-232 IR or TCP/IP PJ link control. And so all of that, video, audio, IR, RS-232, USB, and network, all extended over a single cat wire up to 100 meters, 328 feet, to recap the distance spec there. So yeah, consolidating. But the USB, man, it's just, everything is USB now. You got the cameras, you've got USB speaker microphone combos. And so basically this turns your extension into a professional, it turns your room into a professional video conferencing interface where you're not subjected to proprietary conferencing codecs and whatnot. You can use any software you want, just connect the USB, and now you got a beautiful camera, and use a USB microphone from one of our partners like Clear One, Chat 150 comes to mind, and you're golden. So yeah, so
the other thing I wanted to mention, Jonathan, while you can push the button to select your sources, you can also set it up for auto sensing. So when you plug an HDMI in, it detects that voltage and automatically switches to your HDMI input.
Yeah, that's absolutely even more user friendly, even better. Yeah, man, VGA just isn't going away, huh?
Yeah, it just stares at you, like calls your name. But like you were saying, even now with all the social distancing and everything else, the KVM option, it could be a computer that's in another room that somebody just needs to move around or control with a mouse. They don't want anybody in that section. So I mean, I propose this to a lot of my dealers as the hood's welded shut. So they only have one existing wiring that's in there. And it's like, hey, I can't do collateral damage. I can't get another wire there. It's like, hey, can you get from A to B? Yeah, that cat's there. So I always, joke around. I call the hood's welded shut, and there's only one thing there.
Yeah, Cat 5e or Cat 6, yep. No issues at all with either. Let's look at one more thing, just on the note of what the customer yesterday that we spoke with was really looking for was they're turning this room into yes, it's in a classroom and or like a hall, a lecture hall type environment. But, they're looking for a way that they can, people that are in the building can educate people that are outside of the building. So we call that like a hybrid classroom type situation where either your audience is somewhat remote, distance learning, or exclusively remote distance learning. And so, we look here, you got a projector or display. You got your video switching, single cat wire, the camera mounted at the projector, let's say, to really capture the teacher, providing that experience as though the teacher is right there in front of them. The plugs in USB into the receiver, and then just whatever computer plugs in on the HDMI, VGA, or DisplayPort, just plug in that USB as well. And there's a large view once again of those CEC. Now CEC is great. It's it's control without any additional wiring needed. No IR, no RS-232. It's over the HDMI pins. There's some that play better with others than others, I should say. And you know, so you have to turn on the CEC control. Some manufacturers may call it by a proprietary name. We actually include a link to a online document of how to enable CEC in on a variety of manufacturer products.
I would say,
And
Jonathan, that not some, but almost all have their own name for it, but it's all the same CEC.
yeah, you know, I think that what's happened is it took this technology that, you know, sounds great on paper because it's like, oh, everybody's going to play well together, and as manufacturers do, they don't want to advertise that they play well with others because they want you to buy all things within their brand, right? Can't fault them there. So so here's an example where, in addition to the camera, we have a second USB port, and if you have a touchscreen display, smartboard, as often in the classroom, or now we're seeing more and more in corporate spaces, having that HID, human interface device compatible display, that USB is consolidated with the camera. So you got the camera connection, and you have your touchscreen interactive display connected to the connected laptop. And now, you know, you're doing your point and click and annotations and all sorts of things as needed. So it's all there for you to take advantage of. Should specify it is all USB 2.0 extension. And here's a look at what Dwayne was alluding to with like a potential like metal enclosure. And our product does not run hot because we have the ventilation there and everything. So this is something you'll see when you have the product on hand. And and the other thing is that really can't be stressed enough is when we go back to the high res image. I forgot to emphasize this before.
It is a hot product, Jonathan, but it just doesn't run hot.
There you go.
But on the back, you know, if this is in your wall, sometimes you see kind of eyesore products where it's like, oh, I got this clean wall plate. Oh, how do I plug it in? And you see the little tail of the power supply, and you got to go into the wall, the outlet. This is powered over HDBaseT, so it gets its power from the receiver. It gets its power from the X100 MRX or the presentation switcher. So this also works with our, you could plug this directly into our UPS 52U, for example. We'll just scroll up to show you that one. So here's the UPS 52U, and this wall plate could just plug directly in to our presentation switcher on its HDBaseT input, and that would include the 100. So Dwayne, this is almost like we need to you know, this, we're recording a special broadcast just for your customer, since so much of this is what we went over yesterday. But yeah, the product X 3x1. Go
back to your classroom drawing.
Yep.
And I'm hitting you this on the fly, so don't get mad at me. So but you brought up a point. As soon as we get back to that drawing.
Stand by. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Lay it on me.
So you mentioned the whiteboard, you know, or the touch screen. You say, well, we don't have, you know, we just have a projector. Well, you know what you could do? We have another product called the BYOD 4K. So you could go in with that into the HDMI of the wall plate and then connect wirelessly with your laptop and others, but then also give you that touchscreen overlay, but without a touchscreen, using a USB mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, that's right. That's the golden combo right there. You got wired and wireless connectivity. Let's go ahead and show that on the screen. I think we have some decent application diagrams that show that, or exactly that, or something close. Here's BYOD 4K, the KD Play system, as it's known. This is a hot product right now. Go to, you'll see we have videos there showing you where we do a talk up just like this. Here we are, wired and wireless. And yeah, so here's a BYOD feeding another transmitter, but basically this is the black box form factor. And yeah, you could see here, you could do your presentations. Hey, what worked for us in 2020 and what do we need to do on 2021? Oh, well, you see, we had those high numbers when the widget launch occurred, and mark that up. And then with the BYOD, you could actually, everybody could download that. And let's see here. Church complete system dual display. I think this is the one I was looking for, actually. Here we are. Here's the wall plate, and with the BYOD, and you could do the annotation markups through the BYOD as well in this exact situation. Lots of applications like this. This dual monitor type setup is really, really popular at the moment.
Absolutely. Sorry, I didn't mean to send you off down another trail, but thought it was an opportunity to feature another product.
Absolutely, man. We've got the whole solution here. It's so powerful. This is, not only the box itself sending, again, video, audio, control, network, USB, and the power. So you don't need a power supply connection, all over a single wire. But just the whole presentation solutions lineup is really, really stellar. So I'm going to stop the share right now. Scott, Dwayne, these are the gentlemen that you guys reach out to discuss getting these products in your hand. The beautiful thing about these is, we design them for corporate applications, and we've seen the focus change over to education, and that has really worked out quite well. The needs are the same. The needs are the same. People, that's what's so great about this USB enabled stuff is anyone who needs to basically recreate what would be the one-on-one or the classroom type in-person experience can do that very easily thanks to the USB connectivity on these products.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We got to get, whoops, sorry. I was going to say, we got to give a big shout out to the engineering team, because we did have a couple holes in our presentation lineup. And then, as we all expressed it, these guys jump on it, go through, and even with all the adapting now and changing it, it's, And
we've got some more products coming down the pike that later this year that are going to even fill up even some more holes that people don't even realize are holes, but we're going to show them that they're holes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really excited about that. That'll be some future episodes. I think probably. As a reminder, Coffee with Key is a weekly video cast live on our Facebook here, but then you can always view it after the fact on the Facebook channel as well. And then we'll have a monthly KeyDigital Live where it's the same team here, but we go a little broader and perhaps a little longer, not just that cup of coffee. And then, Scott, you've been doing a really fantastic job over at Unlocking AV with Mike T. I want to drop a word there on what we discuss.
Yeah, it's just a little more in depth, bringing in a guest or somebody within the industry. There's tons of people that always approach us. I mean, I'm sure you could vouch for it, Dwayne. They're like, oh, wow, they want to pick Mike's brain. Mike's always open for a conversation. I loves talking shop. So in the beginning, when Nicole in our marketing department had mentioned the idea and said, hey, why don't we bring Mike on? And then people can kind of ask them or pick a topic. Last time it was Dwayne was on there with Dwayne. I'm drawing a blank here on your friend from LG.
Yeah, I had Mike Statura with LG, and the Mike we're talking about, I know most of all of you know, but that's Mike Simberg, our president, founder, brain extraordinaire behind. I mean, you need to view these, because if you haven't seen them live, it's just phenomenal. And Mike does not have a script. There's nothing. We just take a topic and it just goes all kinds of directions, but it's awesome to experience. Anytime you spend time with Mike talking about that, sometimes your brain goes a little numb because he is amazing, but that's it. Sorry, Scott, didn't mean to jump on that.
So it's like a lot of people are going through viewing that, and, Mike just dropping his opinion. It's just, we have a captive audience, and a lot of people are reaching out to us, and does it seem like it's overkill? But I mean, you got us doing coffee, KD Live, this and that. It's just more information going out there. I mean, we all get positive feedback on it. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's great. It's you do a really great job there. And, there's a lot of questions in the audio visual world that, we talk more about products and how to really maximize the KeyDigital products that you're working with, or how to, give you ideas for selling more KeyDigital products on our two webcasts. The Mike Sinberg thing is really, it's not pro any manufacturer whatsoever, not even pro KeyDigital necessarily,
Yeah. Well, for example, the last one we had was QLED versus OLED versus a couple other LEDs, and it wasn't. I mean, we did have Mike with LG because we work with LG, we work with Samsung, we work with all of them, and it was interesting, and it wasn't LG over the others. It was just talking about how they use OLED, where Samsung uses QLED and others, and I got some things out of it that I didn't even know, and it's really, really worth your time, and it unlocks your mind to, and Mike is so far ahead of all of us on what's coming down the pike. Sometimes we have to say, don't talk about that because we're coming out, but but it's he's a pioneer, but he's also a visionary. So as the father of DVD, creating DVD technology, we're blessed to work for him, and but it's just always amazing to spend time when he's letting his brain get into that gear and other people discussing, because it opens up so many things.
Yep. And so if you would like to be a guest on any of these shows, we love having installers chat with us about their experiences, or even better, chat with us live from one of their job sites, either work in progress or something that's all done, buttoned up. We'd love to take the virtual tour, or if you have something that's appropriate for any of these platforms, please join us. Folks, I think that does it. My cup of coffee is just about running dry. Time for another. Well, I don't think my heart could handle another triple espresso. But all right, guys. Anything further, or shall we say salute?
Happy New Year. Let's put 2020 in the rearview mirror and move forward.
Cheers, guys.
Absolutely.
We'll see you on the next cup of coffee with Key.